Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about the case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, ages 4 and 6 years old, who vanished from their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home on May 2nd, 2025. Tonight, we're going to be looking at some of Malaya's claims and the last things she said she was doing, how the script has changed, and of course, we can't forget the endless stories of the stepfather, really the mother's boyfriend, Daniel Martell. It has certainly changed, but the truth hasn't. And there's a lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face.
Sing it with me.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's the twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my pain, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm in a unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and love. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's get a little hood. Look for red, white, and blue. Danny. Ready? Let's go. How you doing? How you doing, my beautiful girl? Look at that, honey.
Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. If you have a complaint about something and find your content is being used incorrectly, infringement was not done on purpose and will be rectified to all parties' satisfaction. Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. And your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is the last day of May 31st, 2026. It is currently 6:41 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. How you doing, Pearls? How you doing? Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Tonight we're talking about the case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, ages 4 and 6 years old, who vanished from their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home in Lansdowne Station on May 2nd, 2025. Since then, there's been no sighting of where Jack and Lilly is, and still yet today, we have no idea where they are. But I do believe a change is coming. I believe the answer is blowing in the wind, my friend. That's what I meant to say. The wheel's spinning, but the hamster's dead sometimes, you know? Good to see you are. What's wrong with me? I give up. I was not feeling good yesterday. I was not feeling good, and I tried to power through it yesterday. And clearly, about that way today too. I got too much caffeine in me. I think I got like coffee. I got Diet Coke. So let's go. Okay, guys, a lot to talk about this evening. Going through some notes, documents, old interviews, all kinds of stuff in Jack and Lily's case. And Susan's in here, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this as well. There's been so much happen in this case. So, in my opinion, well, there certainly has been inconsistencies, and in my opinion, lies. A lot of them. But it's a full moon, Justin. Okay. Good night. Thank you all. Darling, don't tell me that. Maybe that's what it is. And there's one thing that I was looking, because I deal with Daniel a lot because he said a lot. But I was looking at some things with Miss Malaya, and was looking at early reporting on some things that she allegedly said, and I need to check the documents for that as well. But we're going to get to all that. So, guys, before we get started, if you would be so kind and please, I'm needy. Do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you would share this live stream out, share all the creators, Jack and Lilly Sullivan stuff out. Would greatly appreciate that. Hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. And if you would consider hyping this video, you get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. You just share it on, you hype it on any of your mobile devices. Phone, tablet, anything mobile. If it's got a mobile connection and you can get on YouTube, you can hype it with that. Oh no, I'm feeling good, Leslie. I'm feeling much better today. Yesterday I wasn't, but today I am. Today I'm good. I just can't talk, which is nothing new, but yeah. So yeah. Okay, good to see you all. Hello, Miss Joyous. Good to see you. Lovey's House, Dawn, Lady for Justice, Tinky, Brandy and Indy, Darlene, Carol, Leslie. Leslie, always keeping it real. Green to the eyes. Good to see you, Lady for Justice, Miss Deb. How you doing, girl? Tony, Patty. Who else do we got up in here? Susan, Tinky. Good to see you. Anna to the banana. Bonjour, Miss Carol. Who else we got? Kimchi. Bonjour, Carla, Kathy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Thank you for leaving your DNA. Miss Lady, appreciate you. Patty, good to see you, my friend. There's Miss Kelly up in here, up in here. Christina, hello, darling. Jennifer, Captain, Share Cares. How you doing, girl? Denise, thank you so much. Always, thank you so much, my dude. Brian, Daniel, Justin, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I think it's like, I don't know. I cannot speak, can't read either. Daniel makes me sick, Justin. Yeah. Probably because I've listened to Daniel for the last 2 days. That's probably why I can't speak. Carol, good to see you. Good to see you, Gas, Dinky, Blinda, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate you. Okay. So, I want to just go over a couple of the smaller things in the beginning. So, if we look at, I was going through post and all of that. And several people, news and all that. Do you guys remember Malaya saying this? Hey, Anita, good to see you. Here we go. It's Lily and Jack's mother, along with Daniel, shared a daughter named Meadow, who was just 16 months old at the time. You know, this was, when was this? This was May 11th. This was posted 2025. Meadow was reportedly at the house at the time of her siblings' disappearance. Initially, authorities indicated that the parents had told the children to be quiet to let Meadow sleep. Later, it was revealed that they were in the room feeding the baby. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember the story of them saying that they were feeding the baby? Does anyone remember that? Because I was looking at things early on, like within the first week of Jack and Lily going missing. A lot of you do. A lot of you don't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of you do, a lot of you don't. And I had completely forgot about that. I had completely forgot about it. I guess there was, there's been so much, right? Later it was revealed that they were in the room feeding the baby. The details of Meadow's whereabouts have raised some questions. Okay. On May 8th, Daniel Martell was driven to CPS office in Celeron by a friend. Martell requested to see his daughter, but his request was denied. I do remember that as well. He expressed frustration due to the ongoing investigation and that the disappearance of the children, CPS is keeping a close watch on everything. So, and I was looking at this too. Where was that? Give me a second so I can find it. I got so many tabs open right now on my computer and in my brain that I gotta find it. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. And this was May 7th, news with Jalen as well. This was obviously the interview with Malaya, Jack Sullivan 4 and his sister Lily were last seen about 10 a.m. on Friday on a road close to the Lansdowne station of Nova Scotia. Their parents believe the kids went out the sliding door of the family's home while stepfather Daniel and mother Malaya Brooks Murray fed their baby. I have so many concerns. Yeah. Yes. Feeding the baby. Yeah. The elusive MBM. Yeah. What is the date when he went to ask to see the baby? M. The date was taken by CPS. Well, they left Saturday with the baby, and Daniel could not be around Meadow really after Saturday. Neither could Janie. Neither could Janie. Well, no, I don't think she was breastfeeding at all. I don't think she was breastfeeding at all. And, that's always kind of been the question, right? Like, I mean, like, usually babies wake up at least one or two times. They need a diaper change. They need fed. They need all of this, all of that. And especially if there is sick kids. One second, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. I can't believe those kids haven't been found. No, I know, but I believe that they are close. I really do. Okay. All right. Let me show you this as well. This was May 6th, 2025. Daniel says in the Albertan, quote, it's all I've got after 5 long days. End quote. Daniel Martell said immediately after the RCMP briefing inside a command post near his home in the community of Lansdowne Station. Quote, they're doing the best they can. They have helicopters up in the air right now. They have 100 searchers and still nothing yet, end quote. Martell confirmed that on Monday night, the Mounties showed him a shirt and a blanket and a water bottle found during the search near Gairloch Road. Shirts, plural. But he said none of the items belonged to either child. He said Monday he was worried the children may have been abducted. Okay. Now, first, there's a lot to unpack right there. Number one, Daniel says they were all pushing off this narrative that the kids were abducted. The kids were abducted. The kids were abducted. And Daniel is still pushing this off that the kids were abducted even after Malaya left. Now, Daniel says they sat him down, the family, and said, Daniel, we don't think that they're in the woods. And he said, after that, I felt like a moron for searching with them. But if he really didn't think that they were in the woods or he thought that they were abducted, what was the reason behind he thought they were abducted absolutely, he's deflecting. Absolutely, what's up? But after Malaya had left, he's pushing the narrative that they're abducted. He's also, again, denying here about the shirts, knowing that Malaya and even members of his, sorry, not Malaya, but Malaya confirmed that it was Lilly's shirt. Not only that, the member of his family, Malaya's sister and stepsister, and the boyfriend was the one that found this planted shirt, right? Chris, you're on mobile right now, so if you just double tap the screen, it'll like it. That's what you can do. Or there's 3 little buttons up on your right-hand corner. You can hit that, and it'll pop it up, the like button. Thank you for asking, my dear, because the autism narrative didn't work, in my opinion. Well, and that's very interesting you say that, Brandy, because the autism narrative didn't work, in my opinion. Well, think about that, right? Is that why Malaya said to her mom, the first thing was, I told you they were autistic. I told you they were autistic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Justin, do you remember Malaya saying Daniel ripped the kids' drawings off the wall in the early days of the case? I remember hearing about that, but I don't. I remember hearing about them going off, being ripped off, but I don't remember where it came from. Okay. He said Monday that he worried that the children may have been abducted. Again, this was Monday. Let me see what that was. 2025. Let me go back to 2025. May 20. Oh shit, that's 2027. Hold on one second. 2025. May 6th. This came out Tuesday. So the day before this article came out on a Tuesday, May 6th. May 5th, Daniel says he said Monday he was worried that the children may have been abducted, but police said there is no evidence that the children were taken and that investigators are acting under the belief both kids wandered from their home. Anytime you hear them say they are working under the belief, it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. And they say at this point, Jack and Lily are still considered missing children. At this point. Okay. Quote, now this is very interesting right here. They asked McCann, they said, quote, if the children were abducted, and McCann said, quote, police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there are a variety of teams involved, who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise needed to bring Jack and Lily home. Right? She declined to confirm if the RCMP Major Crime Investigation Unit had become or why rather they had become involved, saying that only that, quote, a variety of investigation teams were working on the case, because that was the major thing. Once Saturday happened and Major Crimes came on this case, we wanted to know why. I mean, I think we knew why, really, even by the next day. But they couldn't really give us an answer, right? I mean, why does Major Crimes, why have they been there for the last year? Well, they're not saying it's a crime. They're investigating if it's a crime. but they haven't said if it's a crime. Quote, if different folks from different units have expertise or skills or the tools needed, they've been called upon to support the investigation. Earlier on Tuesday, the RCMP spokesperson issued a brief statement saying that during the search Monday night, the police force used 4 remotely operated aerial drones equipped with heat-seeking technology. I guess those 4 drones now are, trying to, they're watching Mr. Daniel, trying to keep, northeast, south, and west, watching Daniel, right? Okay. Martell said that after the disappearance, a mother left to be with her family in another part of the province and has blocked him on social media. One second. Police have said that 4 days of ground teams have meticulously searched several kilometers in heavy wooded areas about 25 kilometers southeast of New Glasgow. Okay. Daniel said, okay, that's not the one. Give me a second. Okay. Let me pull this up right here. All right. I want you to listen to this thing that they said May 28th, 2025. I'm trying to get the little stuff out of the way first before we get into it.
Fully engaged in finding out what happened to and May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th.
Public's help, any video.
Recovery team and several aircraft scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on May 7th. Additional searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation.
That little part right there, in my opinion, says a lot. That little part, any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. Again, that doesn't seem like, in my opinion, that this is just a walk away. Any future searches, like if we're going to go search in the future, it's going to be determined how this investigation goes. Not Jack and Lily walked off, not some stranger abducted them, but any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation.
Scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on May 7th. Additional searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. RCMP officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We're using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. I'm going to just repeat that section. RCMP officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We are using all tools and resources to
what happened to Jack and Lilly. We're there to figure out what happened to Jack and Lilly. And this was uploaded May 28th. May 28th, by the way.
Determine the circumstances of the disappearance.
And resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. I went back to Justin's first few lives on this case, and there's things I had forgotten also. I need to go back on my lives and look, to be honest with you. because there's so much that's happened, gets the chance to. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. She did not protect them at all. No, she didn't protect them at all. No.
Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Jack and Lilly, or who has video footage to share with police, is asked to call the Northeast Nova Major Crimes Unit. To remain anonymous, you can also contact Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers. Is there anyone here who would like...
Okay, 1 second. Okay. All right, so let me take that down. Okay, now, what else I get to before I get to that? Okay, I want to look at something Janie said. I was looking at the RCMP documents. Like Daniel says, you can refer to the RCMP documents. Jay, how you doing? Of course, I'm not. Of course, I told you, Jane. Good to see you. Where you been, girl? 10 months. Hey, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jane. Good to see you. How you doing, babies? Thank you so much. And Miss Dolores, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, love. And Crazy Buck, this is not a damn thing. People need to start talking. Yes, Crazy Buck. I agree, but I don't think they are. I don't think that they are going to talk. I think, again, I think the more you make RCMP have to dig for answers, they're just going to let them dig their way out of prison, in my opinion, but that's just me. So something that is always kind of questioned, that's been weird for me, is something that is in these documents, and I've never really understood it. I've asked Joyous, I've asked you guys so many times about this one statement, and I was thinking about it. And this is, Janie provided two statements. One was on May 2nd, 2025, obviously the day the kids went missing, and May 5th, 2025. And May 5th, 2025 was Monday. So she provided a statement Friday, the day the kids went missing, and Monday. And this is what she said. Janie McKenzie said Lilly and Jack are her stepchildren. She lives in the camper on the same property as the residence where Lilly and Jack went missing. She said she saw them all week. Regarding Friday, she said the following. On Friday morning, she got up at 6 a.m. She had her tea and cigarettes. Around 7 a.m., she went out and tended to the chickens and let Tucka out. She went back and played a game on her phone. And this is when she got her call from Ron at 8:48 a.m. They talked about going to town. After she was done talking to him, she went back to bed and must have dozed off after scrolling on Facebook. She originally said she might have learned the children were gone around 8:48. Now, I think Janie was not telling the truth. I mean, I think she was more likely to tell the truth in the beginning, and she just wasn't, in my opinion, as what's the word I'm looking for? As scripted as she is now. And there's a big difference in knowing that the children went missing before 8:48 in the morning and then learning that the children go missing at 10 o'clock. Right? Because she essentially knew the children went missing at 10 o'clock, right when Malaya was standing out in the yard on the phone. talking to 911, right? So after she was done talking to her brother, she went back to bed and must have dozed off scrolling on Facebook. She originally said that she might have learned the children were gone around 8:48 before she talked to Ron. Before she talked to her brother. Okay. But later clarified the timeline in her statement. Her dog started barking, and that woke her up. Tucker started barking, which that makes me think, which again, the media says, the reporters, they say a dog that barks at everything. So I think that dog would have been barking in the night whenever Daniel was riding that car in and out of that driveway. Her dog started barking, and that woke her up. She heard Lily and Jack in the backyard playing on the swings and laughing, then dozed off again. Now, she's the one that they always say, if they're in the yard, she calls. But she didn't this morning, right? Okay. She woke up again when she heard Daniel yelling for Jack and Lily. She didn't think anything of it because Jack liked to look for bugs and get into things when he's doing that. So she thought Daniel might be yelling at Jack for that reason. When she came outside after waking up again, she saw Malaya standing on the rock pile, holding Meadow. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's just a weird thing. Like, if your kids are, like, I understand if you're on the phone and you know how you fiddle around with things if you're on the phone, or you might balance or something, I don't know, with your fiddling. But when your kids are missing and you got a baby in your arms, why are you standing on a rock pile? Thank you, Miss Queen. Exactly. Exactly. I don't get that. You know what I mean? The only thing that ever related is to, yeah. Excuse me. Okay. Where was that? She said when she came outside after waking up, she saw Malaya standing on a rock pile holding Meadow. Malaya said Jack and Lily were missing for about redacted minutes. We know that now that's 20 minutes. And she had called 911. Okay. And she had called 911. She had already called 911. Okay. Now, remember, we're working with a little bit of time here. We're working with a little bit of time here. So that would have been about 9:40 when the kids went missing, yes. But this is the thing. She also said she woke up when the dog was barking and heard Malaya say, shh, shh, yes. 10 minutes later, she goes out and she says, what's going on? And Janie said, kids are in the woods. And Janie said, kids are, so which version? Janie said the kids are in the woods? Really? She originally said she thought Jack let the chickens out. Yes, JM, not that she thought that they were digging for bugs. This is her general narrative about the bug digging. Yeah. And they also said Lilly didn't like bugs or was afraid of bugs. 911 said missing since 8 in the morning. I don't know about that. Really? We don't got the 911 call. But listen to this. I want you to listen to this right here. Okay. When she went outside and talking to Malaya, standing on a pile of rocks with Meadow, Malaya said Jack and Lily were missing for about 20 minutes, and she had called 911. So she had already called 911. Okay. Now think about this. Malaya called. This even up their narrative even more. Oh, that's right. There you go. Yes. Yes, I see what they're talking about now. During a radio call, they said possible missing since 8 a.m. That's exactly right. And even in like the interviews, the reporter said they won't say exactly what time they went missing. But in this RCMP document, Malaya had already called 911 by the time Janie had came out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Helicopter. Yeah. Yep. That's what. Yeah, I've played it several times. Yeah, the dispatch call. Right. But listen to this. Janie told them that Malaya said she called 911. Malaya called 911 at 10:01 a.m. 10:01. The call lasted till about 10:10 a.m., which means if Malaya had already called 911 at 10, and hung up at 10:10 a.m., which I have the receipts for that. I've shown you guys where she called at 10:01. The call was about 10 minutes long, 9 minutes and like 45 seconds long. That means Janie had to come out after that, after 10:10 a.m. Now, Janie says she goes back in the house, gets her clothes on, and then goes searching for Jack and Lily. And back there, she sees Daniel at the back of the road. And she searches that square area behind the house. It's a big area. So if it's 10:10 a.m., Malaya gets off the phone and we'll say Janie came out at 10:11. How did she go inside, get her clothes on, go back out, go search that area from, we'll say, took her 2 minutes to get her clothes on, go in there and get her clothes on. That's being generous. Or that's, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 7 minutes. She's already looked in that big area, talked to Daniel, came back to the house, went in her camper, got her phone back, and her brother calls her at 10:19, and she's standing beside Malaya. Logan also said when she asked MBM when she last saw the kids, MBM said about 8:30, yet told dispatchers 8 a.m. Yep. Bingo. Bingo, boom, boom. And Janie also mentioned once to MBM, what do you mean they're missing? I just heard them. Oh, yeah. I did a whole live stream on that, hidden in the fog. I mean, that's what I've said. Like, if I had just heard my kids or the neighbor's kids outside, and I was laying on the sofa or whatever, and a couple minutes later, I go outside, and my neighbor comes to me and they said the kids are missing, and I would be like, "What do you mean they're missing? I literally just heard them 10 minutes ago. How can they be missing?" Like, that's the first thing you're not going to ask your neighbor, how long have they been missing? Mother chicken, you just heard them 10 minutes ago, which means they couldn't be more than 10 minutes ahead of you. It's so bad. I don't think it happened outside Scotia. I mean, it could have, but I don't think so. For all three, plus to cover up Jack and Lily's bodies, had to show a direct connection for all three to be more criminally involved, in my opinion, for more than just the night before something was going on. Oh, yeah. It is so ridiculous, Jacqueline. It really is. Isabella, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Isabel. Good to see you, my friend. None of them were in an appropriate state of mind for having two children gone. Justin was falling apart. In my opinion, he saw for him to be more emotional than the mom and the stepdad. Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen to what Janie says here. But I was just thinking about that when Janie said that Malaya had already called rank 911. Listen to this. Malaya said Jack and Lily were missing for about 20 minutes, and she had called 911. Janie got her coats, and boots and walked around looking for them. Daniel was searching for them. Her brother called again around 10:19 after all of this happened. This is whenever she was standing beside Malaya at 10:19 a.m. Now, how the hell did you get your coats and boots on? Ask Malaya how long they had been missing. I mean, do you just walk out after you randomly wake up and just say, "Hey, Malaya, what's up?" Malaya's just standing there. Jack and Lily are missing. Well, how long? Not that I just heard them 10 minutes ago. How long? About 20 minutes. Oh, I'll go get my coats and boots on. No. I mean, that had to be after 10:11 a.m. And the original timeline was that they might have been missing since 8 a.m. It's very interesting to me how Janie says that the kids might have been missing before she talked to her brother. It's very interesting to me that then she corrects that. It's very interesting to me how these timelines don't fit. It's very interesting to me that two neighbors say they hear Daniel's vehicle going through the night, and it stops about 5:30 that morning. And then about an hour later, 6:15, there's 2 kids marked missing from school, absent for the 43rd day of the year. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Helicopter grandma, how you doing, mama? Super good to see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, helicopter. Thank you so much, darling. And Hobo, Justin, I sent you a text. Hey, Hobo, good to see you. How's everything going? I don't know if I have my phone thingy pulled up. Do I have my phone thingy pulled up? I don't think so. Let me see if I can get my phone thingy pulled up so I can see text message. Nope, I don't get your text, baby. At least not right now. I don't. It might pop through in a little bit. But I don't see a text message from you, baby. Okay, Leslie. Okay, here we go. Malaya called her mom. Malaya called her mother, who came to the house. When her mother arrived, Malaya talked to her and said, I told you they had autism. Family members started to show up. One of her brothers went to go get the ATV, and they continued searching. Janie said for the rest of Friday, she searched for the kids with the family members. Janie provided some background information. Janie was concerned about the timeline. Listen to this. Janie provided some background information. Now remember, she was interviewed Friday and Monday. Okay. And she's already saying this. Janie was concerned about the timeline because there was no way the kids could have walked from the yard up to the road. Now, this is the part I've always had a problem with. They couldn't have walked up to the road where Daniel was in the vehicle without her seeing them. I've always had a problem with that line. What does that mean? Now, again, Daniel supposedly doesn't have a vehicle there. And I've really been trying to think about this part. Belinda, darling, thank you so much, baby. Oh, I love those flowers. Those are beautiful. Thank you so much, Miss Belinda. So listen to this. I don't know if she's slipping or if, because I do believe she's more truthful here. And again, I've asked Joyous about this. I've asked the entire chat about this. I don't get this part. But again, she says, what I'm thinking about now is she says Daniel's vehicle, or Daniel was in the vehicle. Janie was concerned about the timeline because there was no way the kids could have walked from the yard up to the road. Now, let me tell you something. I know Durwood has said a lot of bull hockey, in my opinion. He said some bull hockey, right? And he drives me nuts. But I believe, in my opinion, if he's protecting anyone, it's a family member of his, but that's not what I'm talking about. Anyway, Janie says that Jack or Lily could not have went out and walked up toward the road. Why did she say up toward the road? Yeah, because she would have seen them. Yeah. Yeah. But listen, why did she say up toward the road? Those kids could have went any direction. Why up toward the road? This bothers me. Could have walked up. Janie was concerned about the timeline because there is no way the kids could have walked from the yard up to the road where Daniel was in the vehicle. Daniel in vehicle. Daniel was in the vehicle without her seeing them. Does anybody get that? Justin, could they have been taken with those three-wheelers on the side of the yard and not used in the driveway? You mean the little play three-wheelers? Is that what you mean? Kenchi, thank you so much for the 2 jewels, darling. Appreciate you. I don't know exactly what you mean there. Thank you, Helicopter. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you for gifting that pearl necklace. I really appreciate that. You received that my treat of Helicopter. The old road up behind the house where the RCMP had to remove a tree to get up there. Yes. Yes. No. You mean the used ones, or the ones like down where Daniel and Malaya's bedroom was over there? She also said on MD's live that the kids don't go out the fence because if they would go out the fence, JM, and she didn't finish the sentence. Did she mean they'd get a whooping? Yeah. Yeah. They are three-wheelers on the side of the property. Yeah. I don't think, yeah, near the bedroom. Okay. Yeah. I don't think so. Just my opinion. I think in my opinion, I think Daniel's car was used. And I'm pretty confident that Daniel's car was used. Anything is possible though. Daniel and Janie changed their tune after MBM left, in my opinion. They were concerned she was going to bleb. Well, yeah. Not only, I mean, we know that because the reporter said, Daniel said he was very concerned after Malaya left. She's going to blame everything on me. Yes, Charlotte. Bingo. Janie is showing guilty knowledge when she left. Says they left by the road. Janie couldn't take the polygraph. I don't think it's that she couldn't take it. I think that she's so fucking high strung. And I think, in my opinion, she has guilty knowledge as a mofo. And she knows. They didn't use the driveway. Yeah, but they couldn't. She said, if they went up the driveway. I just don't get this part though. In my opinion, Janie heard Daniel's car throughout the night, and in my opinion, she raked to cover up evidence. I agree. Helicopter, thank you again, honey. Very kind of you. Please thank you. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you, Miss Helicopter. Very kind. If you receive that, make sure you think helicopter. Again, there's too much things happening that morning. And again, where was it? She was concerned about the timeline. Daniel was in the vehicle without her seeing them. Janie said when the kids were in the yard, she usually watched them the most, and then it's redacted. She said the kids were in school on Monday and Tuesday because the bus picked them up right outside their house. Wednesday was an in-service day, and they were home. But when they went to their grandma's house to do laundry and didn't get home until 10 p.m. Thursday evening. They didn't go to school, but they were in the yard playing through the day, and she gave them snacks. But she did notice a black eye. Remember that? She gave them snacks, but she didn't notice a black eye. I'm sure it was said the only place the dogs picked up a scent was the bottom of the driveway, not the dogs lost any scent at the driveway. That is correct. Yes, hidden. Yeah. And I just believe, in my opinion, because there was a scent there, it's just where they got on and off the bus. Now, Janie is saying that, she didn't see any bruise or black eye on Lilly, but she gave them snacks. But now she says, no, they were over there playing at the swing. They were over there playing at the swing, and we were like, well, how'd you give them snacks? How'd you give her snacks? How'd you give the kids snacks? Unbelievable how much the lies have just compounded. Okay. Janie gave them snacks. Janie and Malaya and Daniel are having financial difficulties. Redacted. Janie said Jack would not go for a walk on their own. She said excuse me, Jack, Lily, and Daniel went for walks in the woods all the time, and they had to carry Jack sometimes because he got tired and would just sit in one place. Janie said she does not believe the kids are in the woods. So this is Monday. She's already saying, I don't believe the kids are in the woods. And this is after the fight. Again, what was said at that fight? Because it was a showdown right there. Whatever happened with that fight, that was a moment of truth that the family or certain individuals in that family, it came to a head. And I believe that's why Malaya left. I believe when they started blaming Daniel, it's because they knew what was going on in that house. The drugs, the abuse, the neglect, the control, the absence, all of that. Right? Okay. We're going to come back to something in just a second. But I'm going to play this. I need to go tinkle.
It's hard for me to remember all.
Of course it is.
Usually
Daniel.
I'm not. I'm not pulling up date to date, right? So
Yeah.
So with that, I know you said that, hey, I'm willing to take a polygraph test. I'll answer your questions.
yeah,
You know, how long from that time that you said, hey, I'll do it? How long was it before you actually sat there in front of the polygraph test?
I'm guessing probably a week, but it felt like longer than that, Daniel. Every day was so long.
I can imagine. Now, kind of transitioning to that polygraph, you go in. Did they give you the questions they were going to ask beforehand?
Yeah, they actually did give us the questions ahead of time. There was actually 5 questions. I don't know why it says in the documents it was 4. There was actually 5 questions they wanted to ask, and then they would throw in questions that they knew that were
Now, I can't remember when the polygraph was, but it was pretty soon. It was pretty soon into Jack and Lily's disappearance. Daniel says about a week. Again, major crimes came Saturday. Jack and Lily went missing Friday. Thank you, Hidden. Good to see you, babe. Jack and Lily went missing Friday. Major crimes was there Saturday. A week later, they are doing a polygraph. Questions about the murder of Jack and Lily. They knew in the first 24 hours, in my opinion, that Jack and Lily, something happened really bad. 1000% Brandy.
that you couldn't lie on, right? Like, have you ever lost your temper? Obviously.
Daniel, I told you I would pay for a certain kind of polygraph if you would just take it. If you'll do a voice stress analysis.
Everybody has lost their temper before, so you can't. And then you're going to say that you never lost your temper before, and then they know that's a lie, right?
Yeah.
So they can find your baseline on that. But all my questions centered around the death of the children. Are you an accessory to killing Lily and Jack?
He says it like it's, I mean, this is the stepfather, right? This is the one. I mean, let me tell you something. If Daniel's the one that Jack and Lily would only come to and that he did everything for them, he's saying this without a crack in his voice about the death of his stepchildren. Yes, that's what they asked him, Sherry.
So you can't. And then you're going to say that you never lost your temper before, and then they know that's a lie, right?
Yeah.
So they can find your baseline on that. But all my questions centered around the death of the children. Are you an accessory to killing Lily and Jack? Did you murder Lily and Jack? That's all the questions were based on that.
Well, those are 2. What are the other 3?
What they did was just reword the questions, differently, right?
Did they ask you, like, do you know where they're at?
No.
Huh. That's
No, they're just all on murder or accessory to murder. Do you know anything on the murders of Lily and Jack? Are you accessory to killing Lily and Jack? Did you murder Lily and Jack? It's just the same questions, but just the orientation of the wording was just changed.
Understood. And
but I didn't want questions like that. I said let's do another polygraph, and that's of all the questions on disappearance, and I want everybody else polygraphed the exact same way.
so you
Doesn't
suspect
matter,
that they
Ruby.
didn't ask Malaya about the disappearance aspect?
Doesn't matter. Daniel can take any polygraph he wants. It's not in court or anything.
They wanted to rule out death as quick as possible, so because that would narrow everything down. Because if they knew that the children were deceased, that would.
You hear what he said there? They wanted to rule out death as soon as possible. They had already said that Jack and Lily are unfortunately unlikely alive. I don't really care if he passed the polygraph test or not, because I don't believe it either way, to be honest with you. Oh, he slipped there. Yeah. Yeah. He says, let me see if I can get the transcript here. No, they wanted to rule out death as quick as possible. So because they would narrow everything down, because if they knew the children were deceased, that would completely narrow it down. Now, again, he's talking about them, they're narrowing it down if the kids are alive or dead. They're just trying to find Jack and Lily. He's a habitual liar. He is. Yeah. Right. They don't know where Jack and Lily is. So they can't say they're dead or alive. But Daniel says this narrows it out. You're fine, Joyce. Is it certain people are saying the RCMP need to give public info? Is that certain people are saying the RCMP need to give public info lately? I don't know what you mean by that. Thank you again, Helicopter. Thank you again, baby. Appreciate you very much. You're very kind to me, Helicopter. Thank you. Appreciate you, Mamacita. Better share. He has no conscience. Easy to pass. I agree with that, Robin. I think he is so used to lying that his nervous system is so fucked that it doesn't really even matter for him.
Completely narrow it down. They wouldn't have to ask them this on the disappearance.
So you take the polygraph.
What does that mean? Do you hear what he's saying here? Do you hear what he's saying? Like, hold on. Narrow everything down because they knew that if they knew the children were deceased, that would completely narrow it down. They wouldn't have to ask them on the disappearance. Well, they still need to ask because they don't know where they're at.
Polygraph test. Is there any like questioning after the polygraph?
That was
No, I actually did 3 polygraphs back to back. It took a total of 3 hours I was there for.
Oh, really? 3
Yeah.
And it was the same questions over
The
and over
same
again?
questions over and over and over. And then they showed me a piece of paper at the end, and it said, like, it showed you like all the stuff on the polygraph, and I passed.
That's crazy.
And then after that, I was taken into a separate room, and where I sat with major crimes officers, and we just talked.
And that conversation, what was the basis of it?
Oh, the conversation after the polygraph?
Okay, let me find this.
Just chatting with a couple of major crimes officers.
It wasn't about the case in specific?
No, it wasn't about the case at all.
All right. And so, the polygraph test is over. You walk out. How is communication with law enforcement after that?
It definitely improved, but they weren't really hard on me at all, even from the start, because I was so cooperative. You know what I mean? There was a lot of inside jokes, and it was a different experience than I think most people would think of.
Yeah,
they were actually pretty lenient with me, like driving fast in the car on the highway. And them guys throwing jokes out and everything like that. It was a different experience.
You're a joke, Daniel.
Good deal. But like, as far as the amount of communication, did they, after you took the polygraph test, did they continue to talk to you the same amount, or did that?
Yeah, they continued to talk to me the same amount until about, I would say, maybe 2 months in. It was after that CBC interview.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It kind of like tapered off after that. And then in the last month and a half, maybe last month, I've only The officers have only came to, or investigators have only came to me 2 times, once for the human remains dogs and once to get all Lily and Jack's belongings for Malaya.
You lizard. You're a lizard, Daniel. Okay. Now, here we go. Lizard. He's always, I can't stand them. Okay. Now, Daniel. Daniel provided 2 statements to police on May 2nd and May 4th, 2025. The following is the summary of what he said. Daniel said Malaya took the baby and Meadow and left with her family. She blocked him on social media and he couldn't get in contact with her. Daniel said he rarely used or checked his phone. Bullshit. But has done so more in the last 3 days since the kids went missing. When asked about Friday morning, Daniel said the following. Daniel said he was in the bedroom with Malaya and Meadow, who were in bed with him. Lily came in the room a couple times, but he did not check his phone to see the time. The television was on and it was daylight outside. Lily didn't say anything. Now he says Lily, one time he said something about daddy or something like that. Now he says, I told Lily to just shh. So that's a little slight discrepancy. Lily didn't say anything. She would just open the door and look and then leave again. She did that 2 or 3 times. They used to remind her not to rush in the room because they want to make sure Meadow got good sleep. Now, I think 12 hours of sleep is pretty good, especially when you've got, I don't know, a 4 and a 6-year-old already, or, supposedly sick. No, I can't. It must be very slim pickings in Pictou County, Lansdowne Station. That's all I can say. There must be very, very few men around there. I don't know. Excuse me. Okay. Where was I? Okay, Meadow got sleep. Sometimes the kids would wake her up. Daniel said he got up and he didn't hear the kids. He thought it was only a few minutes since Lily poked her head in the door. So Lily was only gone a few minutes before she poked her head in the door. I don't think that they gave, you look at your questions beforehand before you do the polygraph. Yeah, because you can ask them to reword it. So that is true. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. He thought it was only a few minutes since Lily had last poked her head in the door. He went out and saw the back sliding door was closed. The kids didn't usually close it when they went out. Their boots were gone. Daniel ran around the house looking for them, but they were not there. Malaya got up when he got up as well and was looking for the kids. Daniel ran outside, but they were not in the yard and he couldn't see them. He got in the car and drove around, then ran around in the woods looking for them. Okay, so Daniel gets in his car, runs the roads, and then he runs in the woods looking for them. Remember, this could not have. Daniel doesn't have much time before the RCMP is there because Malaya's on the phone with 911 at 10:01 a.m. to 10:10 p.m. Couldn't have happened. But Daniel says he's running around in the woods looking for them. Now, this is in the RCMP documents, that all of this that I'm reading. He searched for hours, FOR hours. He searched for hours. Why the fuck is he not answering this shit? Now, this is a habitual lie, Daniel. You are a habitual liar. He searched for hours. This is exactly like you said in the RCMP documents, in the news, Daniel. You pissed me off beyond belief, dude, that you are lying on this 4 and 6 year old. You piss me off. Oh my God, my blood pressure's getting up. Calm down, Justin. Calm down. Ugh. He searched for hours. He said he did not look at the time and didn't even take his phone. Shame on you, Daniel. No, I don't think so, Sherry. I don't think this is what he wants. I think he wants anything but being called out. And that's why the last few days I am on that ass, Daniel, to call your ass out. Lying on a 4 and a 6 year old. You are disgusting. He got in the car and drove around, then ran around looking in the woods. He searched for hours. He said he did not look at the time and didn't even take his phone. How fucking convenient. Oh, thank you, Magdalena. You're so sweet, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, darling. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, make sure you thank our dear Magdalena. Really, really do appreciate you, Magdalena. Thank you, babes. Oh, thank you. Take your blood pressure pill. I'm gonna have to. Thank you, babes. I appreciate you very much, honey. Very kind of you. What did Mohawk say? Thank you, Miss Magdalena. Oh, there absolutely was paraphernalia in the home. Daniel knows that. RCMP knows that. CPS knows that. The family knows that. I know that. And there was also allegedly paraphernalia in the car as well. Malia's car. Daniel said he left his wallet in the car. I think he left his wallet and probably some rugs in there, if you ask me. The kids, regarding Thursday, Daniel said the kids did not go to school because Malaya thought Lily was sick. Maybe, was she homesick with a black eye? Maybe that was it, Daniel. Maybe that was it. And not that it was a cough. They have none, CZ. Absolutely none. Love you, Joyous. Thank you, honey. This is regarding Thursday. They all left home around lunchtime and got gas at the Circle K in Elma. They went through the Tim Hortons drive-thru. Daniel said he thought the kids were sleeping. They drove to Truro, went to Malaya's mom's to do laundry and all that stuff. Okay. This is Thursday going into Friday. Now, look at this. They left the grandmother's around 9:30 p.m. Thursday night, and got home around 10:30. No. Hold on. I get this confused because Daniel's lying. This is Friday morning when the kids went missing. This was actually Wednesday. This is actually Wednesday night, but Daniel says it's Thursday night because he's lying, and they correct him. They correct him here. This was and I knew it was off. This is Wednesday night, but Daniel says it's Thursday night. Remember how they say, Daniel, tell us about Thursday night. Well, it's interesting. He can remember Wednesday night, but say it's Thursday night. He can remember all of that, even though it's an ordinary day, right? Wednesday night was an ordinary day, ordinary night. But he says this was Thursday night because, it would save his ass, or he thought it would. They put the kids to bed. They got home around 10:30, then put the kids to bed. Daniel said he thought Malaya put them to bed. He didn't know what they were wearing, and they were underneath the covers when he checked on them. Now, listen to this. He is combining Wednesday night before midnight. Now, look at this. Look at this, people. He is combining Wednesday night, but saying it's Thursday night before midnight. Right? But then at midnight, he says he goes in the room Jack and Lily are in, turns on the lights. You get me? He's trying to say Wednesday night is actually Thursday night. He says they went and washed clothes and all that. They didn't get home till 10:30. This is his original statement. But that didn't happen. That happened Wednesday night. But then after they go to bed, he checks on him at midnight, which is still what he says happens. And then this is why the RCMP said, Daniel, we believe you did something to the kids Thursday night. We believe you did something to the kids Thursday night. Because Daniel was trying to confuse investigators. And he says, I don't know. It was just an ordinary day. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But Daniel, remember, he said, yeah, he checked on them at midnight, he says. Yes. He made it seem like they had just gotten back from washing clothes. They put the kids to bed, and then he checks on them at midnight. No, that was Wednesday, Daniel. Thursday night, you were fixing the fence and came in around 8 o'clock. But you can't remember from 8 o'clock to midnight. But suddenly you can remember a little bit after midnight. Got it. He didn't know what they were wearing because they were underneath the covers when he checked on them. Daniel said he thought he went to bed fairly early that night and didn't wake up till the next morning when it was light. No, you didn't, Daniel. You was up all night. Malea's statements said Daniel didn't go to bed until he was going to stay up and clean that night. Right. But then she said in the documents that he didn't clean, so she don't know what he did throughout the night. This is why major crimes came in Saturday, because they couldn't get it down. Okay. Daniel said he thought he went to bed early that night and didn't wake up till the next morning. He remembered getting an email that Malaya had marked the kids absent for school on his phone at 6:18 on Friday. Daniel later said Malaya had to get redacted on Thursday between 12:40 and 1:40. So he thought they must have done that before they went to Truro. Again, lying.com. Lying.com, Daniel. Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday or not. Of course you did. That's the day you actually did the close. You're lying to investigators. How does anybody believe this fuckface? How does anybody believe him? Sure did. He also said the police were there when he got back. He also said he got back and waited for the RCMP. He sure did. He also said that he searched 20 or 30 acres on the ATV. Okay. Daniel later said Malaya, because we didn't know it went sure. Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday or not. He said he had a conversation with someone who was helping his. He had a conversation with someone who was helping his with the redacted. I wonder what that's about. Daniel only will tell something because it's going to benefit him. That's what I don't understand here on E. Daniel could not remember if they went to town on Wednesday. He knew that they went to town on Wednesday. He said he had a conversation with someone who was helping his with the redacted, but he thought that was on Tuesday. Regarding their family situation, they used to live with Malaya's grandmother, but they moved, redacted. They moved to Daniel's mother's house. Daniel's uncle and father lives down the road. He has a good relationship with his family. Daniel said Lilly and Jack were sheltered. They were hardly anything but sheltered, but they always watched them outside, including his mother. His mom would always tell them if they didn't have coats or boots on. Isn't that something how he says, "Hey, JJ, oh, baby, I hope you feel better. Thank you so much, darling, for your 7 months. I appreciate you, babies. You get some rest, JJ. Love you, baby." Okay. Now, Daniel says Janie would always say if they didn't have coats or boots on, but they seem to go to school without coats. Isn't that interesting? Yes, they did laundry Wednesday, but he's trying to make seem Wednesday like Thursday, though. He's lying to them. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tina. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Justin, I took care of my 4-year-old granddaughter for your days. We had the best time. One day when I was making her some lunch, I thought of Jack and Lily. How can you not feed these children? Makes me sick. I know, Tina. I know. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you. And that's what I'm saying. Janie would always make sure they had their coats and boots on. However, they didn't go to school with their coats. The teachers bought them coats. Yeah, right. Janie freaking lied and was caught in it. Please go watch Justin's feed at the time. The time and so much proof. Janie definitely is sus. They're all going down. They are. It's just a matter of time. Okay, and then this is redacted. He said discipline in the house was just talking to the kids and telling them that they could not do things. Daniel said the kids did not listen to Malaya. They only listened to him. He said they did not physically discipline the kids. Okay. All right. This is the statement for May 6th Daniel talks about. This is his second statement. Statement May 2nd, second statement May 6th. Daniel said when the kids went missing, Malaya's mother showed up extremely quickly. That is a flat out lie. It's a flat out lie. She did not. She did not show up quickly. That's a lie. Even though she wasn't over an hour away. And Daniel still says he's not blaming anybody, but still pushes this narrative that she could have been out in the yard and taken Jack and Lily and could have texted Malaya from outside of the house. He's ridiculous. He wasn't sure when Malaya called her mother and said it might be a good idea to check her phone to see the time. Oh, yeah, I showed the text. It was actually, I think it was like 1:30. It was at least 12:30. So he's trying to throw Malaya under the bus at May 6th as well. Okay. Daniel said his Google Maps would have his location, and he always kept his location on for Malaya. So she knew where he was, and she did the same for him. How convenient and how jealous. He said on the second day, he had cell phone service when he was searching. How convenient. This is someone who says, oh my God, I never use my phone. I didn't take my phone with me when I was immediately looking for Jack and Lily. But after Jack and Lily go missing on the second day, I take my phone and oh my God, it has service. Imagine that. Okay. And his Google would show his locations. He said he used Google Maps to get out of the woods one time, and he sent Malaya a picture of it. Man, when you got to get out of the woods, just use your Google Maps, right? It's a miracle. Hallelujah, as my grandma would say. Daniel talked about the areas he searched on the first and the second day. He said he went into town and got his friends, Adam and Chance, and they helped him search on the second day. So they helped you search on the second date, but you needed to use your Google Maps to get out? But weren't they with you? Okay. Daniel said he thought Lilly and Jack would only, and this drives me nuts, this one right here. Daniel said he thought Lilly and Jack would only come to him because they were attached to him. They would probably run for the fucking hills like all of us would, Daniel. Okay. Daniel said they never listened to Malaya, only him. Daniel said he is trying to be completely truthful and tell police everything, but it's hard to remember everything exactly as it happened. Daniel said he is having a hard time because his whole family is gone, which would be even more of a reason, Daniel, to think hard if your whole family is gone. When asked in detail about Friday morning, Daniel reiterated what he said in his earlier statements and provided the following further details. When Lilly was sticking her head in the room, he could hear Jack in the kitchen in the background. He did not see him, but he was usually, listen to the words that he said. He heard Jack in the kitchen. He could not, but he did not see him, but he was usually loud and clumsy. So it was easy to hear him. He was loud and clumsy. That's the way you're talking about your missing child. Okay. Redacted, redacted. They like to eat and snack all the time, and sometimes stash away food. That makes me want to cry. That makes me want to cry. They are. Yeah. They were fucking hungry, Miss Sherry. They absolutely were. They absolutely were. I wouldn't let my worst enemy, I wouldn't let Daniel go hungry. I wouldn't let Daniel go. I wouldn't let anybody go hungry. And because you are piping down your meth, Daniel, and Malaya's such a bitch, she doesn't do anything about it. But y'all was going to Walmart, going to your rug dealer, all that shit. They would stash away food. I wonder what this is, what the redacted is. Daniel said when he went out to look for the kids in the house and realized they weren't there, he went back into his bedroom to get dressed before going outside to look at them, to look for them. Because Jack and Lily were failed. They were absolutely failed. more than once. It does. It does. You can tell. I mean, look at Meadow. You want to talk about a child that finally started to blossom and grow, and her collar looks good, and she has little chubby cheeks and legs and stuff now. Jack and Lily, their collar was not good. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. It absolutely is. Oh my God. I can't, guys. I don't know how anybody, I don't know how a motherfucker takes up for Daniel or Malaya. I really don't. I don't get it. Yeah, 16 months old and not walking. Like if someone defends, I've said this almost since day one. The best case scenario, Jack and Lily and Meadow were abused and neglected. That's best case scenario. And even if that's the best case scenario, I don't fucking like you. I don't like anybody that abuses and neglects kids. And then you have a fuck face getting on here and says, hardly, Jack and Lily, they were not neglected. They were not abused in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, not at all, says the Martell and this woman, bucket lady. They absolutely was. They were absolutely neglected, abused. Missing 40 some days of school, and the child conveniently had a black eye when they went missing and wasn't checked on throughout the whole night. We're two different people, motherfucker. I'll tell you that. Pardon my French, guys. I'm a little heated right now. Daniel gets up here and just laughs and giggles and thinks he is just the best thing since sliced bread. Sleeping with a woman while they're out searching for Jack and Lily. Okay. Okay. Daniel said when he went to look for the kids in the house and realized they weren't there, he went back into his bedroom and to get dressed before going outside to look for them. Daniel confirmed the kids could not go out the front door because he had it jammed with a wrench or a bolt in there to make sure the door didn't open. Question here. Why would you make sure the front door was locked or bolted, but you wouldn't make sure any of the other doors? Yeah, that doesn't really make sense, does it? It is, Deb. Oh, Linda, I hope you feel better, baby. Why would you bolt the front door, but you wouldn't the sliding door? You have 3 kids under the age of 6 in your home, but not the other 2 doors. Doesn't make much sense, does it? That morning, a wrench in the bolt to make, or a bolt there to make sure the door didn't open. He said he does that most nights because there is a bear that used to hang outside. That morning, he had to rip the door open to get out the metal piece, and it fell on the floor. So he knew that the kids could not have gone out that way. And I'll tell you something. I believe that is why, in my opinion, Mr. Martell is currently getting charged with forcible confinement, sexual charges, and SA. Because again, it was bolted shut. Oh, yeah, it locks. Yeah, it does. It does. Sure does. I don't even think Jack and Lily, because they weren't at school, what, Tuesday, maybe, was it Monday too? I know it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? Or was it Wednesday and Thursday? I can't remember. But anyway, they hadn't been to school for 2 or 3 days. They probably didn't have enough energy to even open the fucking door together, because they probably didn't have any food, let alone run away or walk away even. Okay, here we go. So he had to rip the door open. His words. He took the car, again, not Malaya's 2017 white Nissan Pathfinder, but he took the car outside. Sorry. He took the car and went to look around. When he came back, the RCMP were there. Really, and told him not to go back in the woods. By that time, his mom was there with his Uncle Ron, and he waited with them. Now, this is very interesting. This is very interesting, isn't it? Because we couldn't get the answer if, I know I'm going slow, guys, but I'm just really processing this. Daniel says that his Uncle Ron is already there. Now, how is Uncle Ron already there at 10:27? How is Uncle Ron there at 10:27? Before the RCMP showed up? Yet Uncle Ron took his mother to town. Well, they didn't go that morning, right? Because Janie was on the phone with Uncle Ron at 10:19. I thought Uncle Ron didn't. What time did Uncle Ron come? Let me check something. 1 second. Hold on, I just thought of something. Damn, where to go? Hold on, this is interesting. Let me check this. Well, he came that sometimes, and then he supposedly took his mom to town. Ron, you're watching. Just write it in chat. What's your story? Okay. Let's hear Ron. All right. Okay, this is Ron's statement. Let me pull this up. No, okay. 8:48. Okay, that's the brother called Ron to see if she wanted to go to town. Janie said no. Okay. Statement of Ron McKenzie, Janie brother, page 24 to 38, section 30. Ron said that he spoke with his sister at 8:48, May 2nd. He said he called Janie again at 10:19 a.m. He said, and she told him Jack and Lily were missing. He went to Janie's place a few minutes later after that. Okay. Then to a neighbor's to tell them what was going on. He went to town with his mother after that and came back at 1:30. He got word that he could go into the woods and came back, so he searched for a while. Okay. So this is interesting. Why does Daniel not talk about his Uncle Ron being there? Thank you, D. Sharon. Why does Daniel, when he talks about getting there, 1 second. Okay. All right. So, why, when Daniel says he shows up, why does he never, which he will now, even though he doesn't watch me, why does Daniel say that he doesn't talk about his Uncle Ron being there? And that means Uncle Ron had to show up real quick. Real quick. I mean, they don't live that far apart from each other, even though Janie and Ron talk to each other at 10:19. And so Ron had to be there within about 7 minutes or so. Yep. Yep. I agree, Jacqueline. I agree. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. By the time his mom was there and his Uncle Ron, and he waited with them, there was a time when he was looking in the woods, meaning Daniel. He thought he heard a scream and sounded like Jack and Lily. He stopped and stood still for a while, but the helicopter overhead was too loud and he didn't hear anything else. Right? Hitting the math pipe in the woods, Daniel. Good job. Okay. Now listen to this. Listen to this. At one point on Friday, this is the day the kids went missing, before dark, he, meaning Daniel, took a half an hour video on his phone of where he was searching. This part really gets me every time. And Daniel they're watching. It was a steep part of a hill. And he does not think Jack and Lilly could have gone that way. He was using the flashlight on his phone and try to see in culverts, but he didn't see anything in the water. Read that again. At one point on Friday before dark, he took a half an hour video on his phone and where he was searching. It was a steep part of the hill, and he does not think Jack and Lilly could have gone that way. He was using the flashlight on his phone to try to see in culverts, but he didn't see anything in the water. But that was daylight before dark. That's a good fucking point. Maybe. At one point on Friday before dark, he's saying that it's Friday evening, but it's Friday in the AM, early AM. Yeah. So Daniel did that in the daylight without his phone. I don't know. Well, he's saying this is that in the dark, he's on a hillside, but he's also searching these culverts and he's looking in the water, but he didn't see anything. And he won't tell anybody that's interested where this is or where he says he might have heard Lilly, because he says if you're a Malaya supporter, it doesn't matter if you're a Malaya supporter or not, because he wouldn't tell you. He's absolutely, Deb, 1,000%. The phone he never takes because there was no service. Well, that's what he says when it's convenient for him, but he also takes the phone to help him allegedly record a half an hour video and also help him get out of the woods with Google Maps. Now, Daniel, there's this was Friday before dark. Friday. Like Friday evening. You can't. You can't use Google Maps if there's no service, unless you've downloaded it, but it's not going to show you tracking. Yep. Okay. Now, they talked about what happened on Wednesday and Thursday. Daniel initially had his days mixed up. He didn't have his days mixed up. He was flat out lying. But then confirmed through online banking on his phone that they spent Wednesday in Truro with Malaya's grandmother and went to run errands, including Malaya's redacted on Thursday. In addition to what he provided to his previous statements, he said that the following details about Thursday. Daniel said he had Facebook messages from Malaya at around 12:07 p.m. She was talking about McDonald's toys. He said he might have been out in the yard playing with Jack and Lily when she sent those messages. So this is Thursday, Daniel. And you said they were sick Thursday, but you're outside, playing the old football with Jack or, playing with the kids. You're not very good at this, Daniel. You're not very good at this. If my kids were missing and cops had searched all day and not found them, I would go up a hill even if I doubted they went that way. Yes. Yeah. So he's talking about his following statements Thursday. Daniel said he had a Facebook message from Malaya around 12:07 p.m. So after noon. She was talking about McDonald's toys. He said he might have been out in the yard playing with Jack and Lily when she sent those messages. Yeah. He also called Chance Friday night. It was really Thursday night, in my opinion. Yes. First, he said he had pizza for dinner, then he changed it to poutine. What is it? Oh, I just realized it. Y'all probably already know this, but he said he didn't see the kids were wearing because they were covered up in bed. But didn't he say Lily came in the room twice? Yes. Yes. He also says he can't say what they were wearing, but they really weren't wearing what we think they're wearing. This is Thursday. What time did they left? A little bit after noon on Thursday, supposedly. But Daniel's outside playing with two sick kids. Got it. They all went to Malaya's grandmother's, and they went there around 12:50. So 12:07, Malaya messages Daniel about McDonald's toys. Doesn't make any sense. And then at 12:50, they leave for Malaya's grandmother's house. Malaya went in to get redacted, and he stayed in the car with the kids. All three kids were sleeping, so it was quiet. He looked at his banking information and his phone and remembered they went to the Dollarama and Lawton's on the way home. They all went to Malaya's. Okay, tell me, how did this happen, Daniel? Look at this, guys. How did this happen? They all went to Malaya's redacted, and they got there around. Wait a second. Wait the fuck a second. So no, something's really wrong here. They're not telling us something. They're not telling us something. There's some lies here. Yeah, he never mentions it now. Yeah. Meep, you just you funny. Justin wasn't. Daniel and Malaya with the kids in town Thursday after 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They didn't get a hold until after 3:30 in the afternoon Thursday. Yes. Okay. They're not telling us something right here. Look at this. So Malaya's texting Daniel at 12:07 talking about McDonald's toys. He said he might have been out in the yard playing with Jack and Lily when he sent those messages. Now, they went to Malaya's, redacted, and they got there at 12:50 p.m. 38 minutes later. Malaya went to get redacted, and he stayed in the car with the kids. Now, he just said the other day that no, I didn't stay in the car the whole time. Exactly. Yeah, and Malaya didn't tell the RCMP they went to Patty's on Wednesday till the 5th interview. I believe this is when Daniel is getting the drugs. The doctor's appointment, yeah. Remember, Patty said she didn't see the kids for weeks or two. Yeah. The only thing with Patty is her memories, like, from what I understand, she drinks a lot and has memory problems. I'm pretty sure also M family mentioned, I think Haley said no food in the, yeah, there. Daniel's dad said there was no food in the house. He had to buy him food. Yep, no food in the house. Yep. A whole lot, Patty. STD employment. Maybe trying to insinuate that Malaya picked up McDonald's from the Malaya collects McDonald's toys. Oh wow, I just saw your message. Okay. Remember how she said, absolutely. Remember how Daniel said that, Daniel's friend said it was like 11 something that he met Daniel, but it was actually like a lot later than that. Hold on, let me look at this timeline. 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play something real quick. I need to go tinkle again. Just give me 1 second so I can play this.
I'm gonna refrain from doing it, Daniel.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Do you think it was an outsider?
No, because on the second day they came out and said this is not an abduction.
Listen,
An abduction means that the individual or parties that took the kids wouldn't be known by the kids. That's what an abduction is. So,
and yet now he's saying that he believes this is a professional. Again, his most recent interview said it's a professional. Listen to this.
I'm online, so I'm gonna refrain from doing it, Daniel.
Do you think it was an outsider?
No, because on the second day they came out and said this is not an abduction. An abduction means that the individual or parties that took the kids wouldn't be known by the kids. That's what an abduction is. So when the RCMP said it wasn't an abduction, that means the person that has the kids is known by them. And because I was with Malaya for 3 years, I think I may know the person that has the kids, right? Because I was involved in the kid's life and I was involved in Malaya's life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I went to investigators with every single lead I have, and they listen, but I don't know what they're planning or their plan is, right? Because they don't let me in on that stuff, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they always just tell me don't pursue any leads, don't fly any drones, don't just don't follow anybody, which I don't. So
The draft test.
yeah, there's many people that are involved in the case, including the individual or individuals that found the part of the blanket. They were never polygraphed.
Interesting. And so you want those that found certain things to also be polygraphed as well.
Yeah, because I think the people that found the only possible evidence during the search, they should probably be polygraphed, considering that their involvement, right?
You know,
Hold
there's
on.
some
But I don't know what they're planning or their plan is, right? Because don't pursue any leads, don't fly any drones, don't follow anybody, which I don't. So
He said that because he had, in my opinion, Durwood chasing down Malaya, spying on her, and I think he was stalking Malaya.
the draft test.
yeah, there's many people that are involved in the case, including the individual or individuals that found the part of the blanket. They were never polygraphed.
Interesting. And so you want those that found certain things to also be polygraphed as well.
Yeah, because I think the people that found the only possible evidence during the search, they should probably be polygraphed, considering that
The only person that found evidence, they should probably be polygraphed. And guess what, Daniel? They were, motherfucker. They were. And guess what? They weren't the ones who lied about the blanket. Were they? They weren't the ones that lied about the blanket. You were, Daniel. You were. I was going to go live about Nancy Guthrie, but I'm not going to get to tonight because I'm going to spend time with Daniel.
their involvement, right?
You know, there's some interesting things that have been said that,
Mhm.
you know, I was talking to Darren once as well, and he mentioned that when he was talking to Malaya, that there was, before the disappearance, there was conversation of her with the family talking about potentially leaving you.
I don't believe Durwood knew that Malaya was going to leave. I don't believe this 2 weeks in advance thing, but I do believe Patty and them told Durwood that Malaya was planning on leaving. Wait, you guys are some OG gangsters up in here. 19 months in counting. Wait is an OG. I love my Wait and Brandy. 17 months. Justice is coming. 19 months for Wait. How you guys doing? Yes, he's so transparent. Yeah. He's about as transparent as eternal darkness, like his freaking heart.
And that when he went and spoke to her, like, hey, is this true? She said, don't worry about it. I got another plan, or something to that nature.
Never
And
Yeah,
happened.
I can tell you the actual story on that if you want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell us your
Because
lie.
I know Darren too. So
Tell us your lie. You
Yeah,
might.
how, from your point of view, how did that go down?
and okay, Patty, which is Malaya's grandmother,
Mhm.
asked Darren, you know, I don't think Malaya wants to be with Daniel anymore. This is 2 weeks prior.
This is Durwood that didn't know Malaya had 2 kids, hadn't seen Malaya since 1776. I don't believe this.
Do you think, Darren, you can go and get Malaya? Darren's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not breaking up in a relationship. Like that's a relationship. Like I'm not going to get involved in somebody else's, you know, life, right?
Right.
Which makes sense. That was a smart thing by Darren to do. So this is 2 weeks prior. And so then Patty calls Malaya and asks Malaya, you know, if you ever just want to, you know, get away, you can come live with me. And then that's when Malaya said, no, Patty, I have a different plan.
No.
And this
That's your and little Durwood and Janie's thing when y'all were in cahoots together.
was told to me by Darren, which had access to both sides of the family, right?
Yeah.
The only person that
I
had
don't
access
either.
to both sides is Darren and the investigators. So,
Do you think that any dogs or any searches are gonna?
and also, Daniel, I want to add to that. This is backed
Go
up in the court case with Meadow. And in one of the affidavits, it does state that Malaya wanted to leave 2 weeks prior, but then decided to stay. So that's some evidence that back that up.
It's an
What?
Meadow, in the court case with Meadow, and in one of the affidavits, it does state that Malaya wanted to leave 2 weeks prior, but then decided to stay. So that's some evidence that back that up.
He's talking about in the court case affidavit. Yeah. That's why they put a gag order on the CPS case, in my opinion.
it's
I've
an
never
odd
seen someone
timing.
so full of
of
shit in my
things.
life.
Yeah, it's
No.
very odd. It's extremely odd.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
want to make it
It's
seem
odd
like
timing, and
And for Malaya to say that, a little bit more odd.
it is. It is.
Mhm.
Like, I completely understand when Darren says some of the
it's
things
you
that he says
goofy looking
referencing her,
bastard.
her actions or behaviors.
Mhm.
I know you mentioned that the one time that you've talked to her. What was the second time? That you talked?
The
I think they have been fighting since December 2024 really bad. I think something happened in December 2024. Am I right, Daniel? Mm-hmm.
first time was just that hello on the phone when
Yeah.
she was
All
fleeing
right,
to the
listen
reserve.
to this.
And
Listen to
then
this. Now, again, I don't care if there was a protection order or whatever against Daniel. Daniel knew Malaya did not want to talk to him. She left, she blocked him, she changed her social media, all of that. Daniel calls Malaya on his cousin's phone. She answers. Listen to him. Hold on, I need to screenshot this picture because this is a perfect picture for a thumbnail. That's called mathitis.
she heard my voice, she immediately hung up the phone, right?
Okay.
So,
Listen.
but by that time, I already heard the background noise. She wasn't a moving car. So Darren was actually correct on that.
Oh, Darren was actually correct on that. Now, this is interesting to me. Yes. This is interesting to me because Malaya didn't have Meadow that long. How long did she have Meadow? When did she get Meadow taken away? And Darren is already calling and saying Malaya is in a car with Meadow. Oh, he is. He is. It was actually Durwood and Daniel. They wanted her taken away. Listen to what he says there.
The first time was just that hello on the phone when
Yeah.
she was fleeing to the reserve. And then as soon as she heard my voice, she immediately hung up the phone, right?
Okay.
So, but by that time, I already heard the background noise. She wasn't a moving car. So Darren was actually correct on that. And
Right.
Darren's correct on a lot of things.
Oh, really? You remember how Daniel and Durwood or Janie, they were just worshiping the ground Durwood walked on. Now they're saying that mother Fletcher.
So,
And the second time.
and the second time was when she filed the report or complaint to CPS about me. We can go into the first complaint after this, but the second.
So this is actually 3 times, Daniel, because you called her while she was in a moving car. You pulled beside her at the CPS place. And you walked up to her at the CPS place again. That's at least 3 times. Not to mention, we have the text message of you saying, tell Malaya, basically to forgive me, that I'll be the same Daniel I used to be underneath the waterfall. Now, remember that, because this is around the time Daniel says Malaya is going to blame me for everything. Malaya is going to blame me for everything. And like I said, I believe Jack and Lily would not be missing if it wasn't for that buffoon right there. I think Malaya is not the best person, and I think she knows, but I don't believe they would be missing today if it wasn't for this person. Daniel was trying like hell, and when Malaya left, he lost control, and he was trying to get that back. He was trying to get that back. Tell her I'll be the same Daniel, as long as she doesn't send me to prison. He was endlessly harassing her. Oh, she knows. She knows what happened that night, because she lied too. She absolutely lied. You can't be in bed together and have different stories. She absolutely knows. I don't believe she knows where she's at. The kids are at. I believe she does not know where they're at, but she knows what happened. She knows what happened. She absolutely knows what happened. I believe that everything that happened to her, I believe there was some awful things. And I don't agree with that, the things, in my opinion, Daniel put even her through. But I believe she's lazy and selfish. You can't have different stories. You can't have different stories. Malaya saying Daniel was smoking the meth at midnight. She knows what happened. She does. You can't be laying in bed together and say you're asleep and then he's asleep, and they were up all night.
Complaint was, after investigators came and got all Jack and Lily's belongings, there was some letters that were received in the mailbox there.
I just realized.
And so there was 3 letters. There was one to Lily, one to Jack, and one to Malaya. They were all from Nova Scotia Health Authority.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were health cards or not, or
Listen to him.
in the mailbox here. And so there was 3 letters. There was one to Lily, one to Jack, and one to Malaya. They were all from Nova Scotia Health Authority.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were health cards or not, or
I believe Daniel opened up some mail. He's like, "That's a federal offense, right?" Yeah, it is, Daniel.
or something, but because I wasn't going to go look through the mail because that's a federal offense to go through someone's mail, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you will.
So there was the 3 letters, and there was Jack and Lily's tablets, right? So there was a tablet each, and there was 3 letters. Malaya was coming out of CPS, so I walked up. When she opened up her trunk, I seen her. I walked up, and I put the 3 pieces of mail and the 2 tablets in their trunk.
You shouldn't have, Daniel. This has got to be. Guys, I'm sorry. This has at least the third time for his unwanted buffoonery, right? And this is the thing. Even if there's not a protection order, CPS office has already told you, leave her alone. And you know she didn't want to be talking to you. She's left you. She changed her status, blocked you. Guys, I'm sorry. I got to go soon because I'm going to fall asleep. I'm not sleepy. I'm just yawning, actually.
I said, have a good day, Malay, and walked away, and then went in and had my visit with Meta.
Mm-hmm. And
But-
she reported you for that.
Yeah, she reported me for that. But when I walked up to her, the odd thing was when she seen me, she smiled.
You, Daniel, you are the creepiest mother the heavens ever stretched a piece of skin over. He's the creepiest. But you know, the weird thing is, I walked up to her and I said, have a good day, Malaya. And she smiled. She's probably like, this is not a smile, Daniel. What the fuck? What the fuck are you? She's probably like this. What the fuck? The fuck is wrong with you, Daniel? Where the fuck did you come from? Oh, it was all intimidation. It was all intimidation. A grimace is not a smile. Yeah. And Daniel looks like the grimace from McDonald's. He's got that blue-gray cast over him from the mathematics. Damn. Who is he trying to convince? I truly believe he is obsessed. I believe he was really obsessed with Malaya and obsessed with controlling her.
Malay and walked away in the trunk, and I said, have a good day, Malay, and walked away, and then went in and had my visit with Meta.
Watch his face.
Mm-hmm. And
But-
she reported you for that.
Yeah, she reported me for that. But when I walked up to her, the odd thing was when she seen me, she smiled. So I'm not sure what went on there, but I wasn't like extremely overly nice when I set the stuff down. I set it down and I said, have a good day, Malaya, just like that. So I wasn't like trying to be like overly nice or overly mean, right? It was kind of neutral.
And what did CP?
He reminds me of a pug puppy right here. His eyes are very, I don't know.
CPS tell you about that interaction?
CPS told me, you know,
Let me listen to his words.
have a good day, Malaya, just like that. So I wasn't like trying to be like overly nice or overly mean, right? It was kind of neutral.
And what did CPS tell you about that interaction?
CPS told me,
Listen, right
you
here.
know, if Malaya was felt really caught off guard by it.
Okay. Malaya felt really caught off guard by it. So she obviously didn't know you was around. He did. Oh, he has no remorse for anything. The problem with Daniel is he really is a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Daniel wants you to think he's this really good person, right? Like he could not, it's hard for people to see their own flaws. It really is. Most people, but he has none. To Daniel, he has none. Belinda, how you doing, girl? Good to see you, Mama. How you doing, baby? But he is saying right here, Malaya felt uncomfortable by that. And guess what? This is the second time in the parking lot. So what car was he driving when he went to the CPS building? Was his mommy's driving him there to visit? He was driving his mom or his dad's car, in which he is both since wrecked. I would have rather driven with my 94-year-old Aunt Edie than I would Daniel sober. Okay? I mean, she was a hell of a driver. She scared the shit out of me when I rode with her as a kid. But she didn't wreck all the time. She didn't wreck as much as Daniel. Okay? I have never seen someone. I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not. You know what Ripley's Believe It or Not is? And there was a headstone. It says, "Here lies Benjamin Blake. Hit the gas instead of the brake." And yeah. I don't know how Daniel has that many wrecks. I've been to the one in Niagara. Yep. I've been to a lot of Ripley's, though, everywhere. What if they allegedly left Jack and Lily sleeping in the car? I've heard that. Then at midnight, DM checked and Jack and Lily, and they were not in bed, but they passed out away in the car. Then a cover up. The thing about it is, I don't see how the weather, it wasn't really hot or cold, though. The only thing I can... Oh, thank you, Miss Belinda. I do my best to give him hell. Give them hell, actually. Not, but particularly Daniel's lying ass. I've been on it since day one. Literally, since 3 p.m., about 3 p.m., May 2nd. So... Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here we go.
And was she didn't like it when I walked up and handed her mail. Malaya was felt really caught off guard by it, and was she didn't like it when I walked up and handed her mail.
What would have, Daniel, what would have given you that clue that she didn't want to be around you? Was it that she left, A, or was it that she blocked you from everything in her life, B, was it that she had told you not to call her again, C, and to stop stalking her, D, or the next time, or the second, that's the second time you trapped her in the CPS parking lot, D? Which one? Well, wait. That she didn't like it. Well, yeah. This shows you that it was nothing more than control with this bastard. You know what he could have did? He could have said, open the door to the CPS office. Hi, I'm Daniel Martell, here for my appointment. Would you give this to Malaya the next time she's in the office? Here is her mail.
But then why would she smile? Right? With this, which
Again, he's going to bring up the smile again. Watch him. But why would she smile?
adds a whole handed her mail.
Listen.
But then why would she smile? Right? With this, which adds a whole nother layer to that situation.
Which adds a whole new layer to the situation. Daniel is the type, I'm telling you, he, in my opinion, he bolts the doors, right? And says it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. I believe we're going to see that. I believe the RCMP will
But they just said, CPS mainly just said to me, you know, if you have mail that comes for her, or you want to, there's something you have to give her, just give it to us and we'll give it to her.
Good deal.
Well,
And,
who would have
what
thought
was
that,
the first
Daniel?
time that she,
The first one was actually I parked too close to her. Like I parked near her in the parking lot.
How far were you?
Okay. See, this is how Daniel lies. Sometimes he lies in threes. I parked too close to her. I parked near her. Then he's like, I parked right beside of her. Well, that's because there was no other parking. Right? Just like he says he was coming down the hill when Jack and Lily went missing, or after they went missing, and Malaya was on the phone with 911. She might have been on the phone with 911. She might have been texting, and then he said something else. She might have been doing this. You're like,
Parked from her.
Like I parked near her in the parking lot. I parked too close to her. Like I parked near her in the parking lot.
How far were you parked from her?
Sometimes the only parking lot, I mean, the parking spot was right beside her, so I was parked beside her. Right? I'm not gonna miss a visit because I don't have a place to park.
yeah. Out of that entire parking lot, Daniel, right? That entire parking lot. It just so happens the only parking spot was right beside Malaya. Got it.
And there's a parking spot right beside her, I'm gonna take it.
Did you see her, or was it just your car was next?
No, I didn't see her, but I usually see her almost every time, right? Because I wait like an extra couple minutes before I go in sometimes, just so I don't,
You know, her.
I'm walking through the door and she's walking out through the door and we don't have like a face-to-face, interaction.
Understood.
Because I'm not going to get a complaint sent against or put against me just for opening up the door for her, right?
Well, because you've already stalked her repeatedly. We all thought Malaya was a great mom, but maybe it was all the support that she had at the time in their lives, at least until it fell apart. Yeah, Belinda. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm really not interested in that.
I think Malaya is her mom and her family has done everything for her. In my opinion, that's just the feeling I get. Like they just did everything for her. It's always been like, oh, poor Malaya. I think she likes the sympathy, the fragile me kind of thing. And I think she just needs to grow the hell up. Lori, thank you so much, baby. Appreciate you very much. Good to see you, Miss Lori. Thank you for being a member. Question, Malaya was leaving him. Could she have arranged to have the kids taken away as he thought if she left, he would hurt them. He would be out of rugs. Sorry, he would be on drugs. She knew that, wouldn't remember that night. Then she acts like she does. He would be out of rugs. She knew that, wouldn't remember that night. Then she acts like she does. 1 second, guys. Malia was leaving him. Could she have arranged to have the kids taken away as... No, I don't think so, Lori. There was really just no reason. Daniel knew Malia was leaving. Daniel was losing control. Daniel was losing control. And listen, I think Malia, in my opinion, was on drugs too. I don't think you could go from, being a good mom to a decent mom to there not being food in the house and everyone providing everything for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for all of this. It just doesn't happen. Like, as soon as she left Saturday, she could have said, I told him I was, the kids ran away. I was afraid that he would hurt the kids or whatever. They're at such and such house. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But no, it just didn't happen. Daniel is a controlling, manipulative psycho. He just really is. I don't think you could really get... Oh, not a bit, Robin. She is not a bit innocent in this. No. And this is the thing. Just like Malia could have said, listen, I hid the kids because I thought he was going to do something. I told him I couldn't find the kids. And when she left, she could have said, the kids are over here. I was scared. This is what she could have done if she was 100% innocent. When she left Saturday, she could have said, he did something to the kids that night. I was petrified. I was scared to death that he was going to hurt me and the baby too. And so I lied to you guys. This is what happened. But she didn't do that. She didn't do that. So that's why she has went along with this. So she made her bed. That's why I don't support either one of them. Because I don't believe either one of them. At all. At all. The mother speaks. And listen, people's like, well, everyone acts differently. Everyone acts different. Do you think Miss Belinda is used to standing in front of the world on camera? She's not that generation that likes to get in front of a camera. She does it because she loves her grandkids. She's not from that generation. You get out of your fucking comfort. You don't care about what the public thinks when your kids are missing. That's out the window.
Yeah, no, those things can be nasty, man. Breakups.
But I will air it out though. So by saying this too, there's no restraining orders against me. There's no peace bonds. There's nothing.
I find that interesting. After all of this, he's like, there's no restraining orders. Now listen to what he says right here, because again, these are Daniel lies. He says, Malia's blocked me. She said she felt uncomfortable. This is the second time I pulled next to her. I pulled close to her. I pulled right beside of her. There was no other parking spots. Then he says there's no peace bonds, there's no restraining orders or anything. Now listen to what he says.
Like that, right? But by saying this too, there's no restraining orders against me. There's no peace bonds. There's nothing like that, right?
That's good to know. That's good to know. There's no restrictions. You're a free man. You can go wherever you want, correct?
Yeah, I can go wherever I want. Some places I'm just not allowed to go to.
This is Daniel's logic. Right here is Daniel's logic. He's like, there's no restraining orders, there's no peace bonds. The other Daniel said, you're a free man, you can go wherever you want to go. And he's like, yeah, I can go wherever I want to go, but some places I'm just not allowed to go. Then you're not a free man, motherfucker. Sorry. Pardon my French. Then you're not a free man if you're not allowed to go some places. You're not. He's such a clown. He is. It really has to. I mean, truthfully, the best part of him ran down Janie's leg. It really did.
There you go. Well, Daniel, I want to say thank you. Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest to everybody that's tuning in and watching? Anything you want to say to those that are watching?
I'm going to say, if anybody has information on the kids, contact your local police department, call RCMP, or you call Crime Stoppers if you have any tips or any.
Are focused in on some of the things that aren't relevant anymore. Like,
yeah,
for
of course.
Instance, when we talked about the kids in missing
or
school.
they just completely make things up. Like
you.
There's nothing to do with drugs. There's nothing to do with, you know what I mean? They didn't get lost in the woods, and I'm going to be the first one to ever say that. I don't think they're in the woods whatsoever.
I agree with that.
I don't think they ever were. And I feel like a dummy for wasting the first day and a half searching my ass off for then my family and friends to sit me down and say to me, Daniel, we don't think they're in the woods.
But tell him the conversation after that happened, Daniel. Daniel, we don't think they're in the woods. We think you know something. Because you were not telling the truth. You're smoking meth. The kids have bruises. The kids don't have coats. The kids are missing 40-some days of schools. The kids are malnourished. CPS has been here.
And then with all the resources poured in and all the searchers' time, and they got injuries, and the amount of helicopters and drones, dogs, the classified technology like the satellites, they didn't find anything.
They did, Daniel.
Yeah, that's it.
They did. They found some planted stuff. What I don't get, according to Wade, Malaya was leaving. Then she and Cindy denied everything. Wade said U-Haul included. That they were going to get her a U-Haul, and then, like the day before, she said she didn't want it.
Interesting that they didn't find a single thing outside of they found the boot prints and the blanket.
Yeah, but they still tell me that that's the only possible evidence.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to talk about those boot prints or that blanket. Right? That's planted evidence. Oh, they do. They know. It's coming. He knows it's coming. He knows. Enjoy the summer, Daniel.
And the blanket in the tree, I mean, I'll be the first to say that too. Investigators told me straight out when I asked them if it's planted, and they said yes.
Really? Now listen to his logic. Yeah, they got Daniel's DNA for this. Only his DNA. Listen to this.
Technology, like the satellites, they didn't find anything.
They didn't find anything. And then, of course, Daniel from DT reminds him, oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's
So-
interesting that they didn't find a single thing outside of, well, they found the boot prints and the blanket.
Yeah, but they still tell me that that's the only possible evidence.
Okay. Well, they did find the blanket and the shoe prints. And Daniel says, well, that's just possible evidence. That's just possible evidence. Now, listen, okay, if it's possible evidence, Daniel's getting ready to say, the RCMP told me that that's planted. You are so bad at this. That's planted evidence, but it's only possible evidence. It's planted 100%, but it's possible evidence. But they took your DNA for it, and you denied the pink blanket.
Yeah.
And the
there was
blanket
kids
in the
out there,
tree,
right?
I mean, I'll be the first to say that too. Investigators told me straight out when I asked them if it's planted, and they said yes.
I asked him straight out, is this blanket planted? There's nothing. Then there's, possible evidence. And then they said straight out, after they found nothing and that there's possible evidence, they said 100% it's planted evidence. You are the most exhausting bag of I've ever seen.
when
And then
did
I
they tell
didn't
you
push
that?
any further for any more information after that.
I bet you
And
didn't.
when was that? Was it
He didn't push for anything else after that. I bet you didn't, Daniel. I bet you that's one conversation you did not want to talk about, Boo Boo. Right. Bet you that. Bet you didn't push any further.
that like recent? Was that
That was
early
on the day that they came and the investigators came and got all Jack and Lily's belongings from the house. So that would
Oh,
have been like a little over 3.5 months in, closer to the 4th month.
Okay, so not too long.
And they know that for 100% because they reviewed all of the bus footage, right, from the school buses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that was the main thing I wanted to end it with, was just, if you have any information.
oh yeah. I bet you he regrets that. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you he regrets that out of everything, is planting those boot prints in that blanket. But I'm so glad he fucked up royally right there.
Come forward. All the tips are going to be reviewed. I mean,
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for that. For telling on yourself. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you all very, very much. Please like this, double tap the screen, hit the thumbs up, share this out, hype this video on your mobile device afterwards. Jack and Lily have been missing over a year, but we cannot give up. It is about 37, maybe 36, 37 days until Daniel has to plead on unrelated charges. We are going to keep the hammer down on him and on Malaya and the RCMP healthy pressure. There's not as many people watching the stuff for Jack and Lily, but it doesn't matter if there's one person here. I'm going to be here for Jack and Lily. Been on it, and we're going to stay on it. So please don't forget about them. Please. They have been failed by CPS, their parents, step parents, all the above. Please don't forget about them. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. It's coming. It's coming. He knows it. He knows it. So he's nervous right now. He's going to try to talk his way out of it. Tammy. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. God bless you all and keep you I was going to talk about do the Guthrie case tonight, but I don't know if I'll be back or not. You never know, though. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. I'll see you later or tomorrow. We'll see. Good night, everyone. God bless. Thank you, baby kisses. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for your support. Much love, everyone. Oh, I need to thank y'all's gifts. Yes. Thank you for letting me know that tomorrow's Monday. Oh, Lord. Tomorrow's Monday. Don't you love Mondays? Just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. Ooh, maybe I wouldn't let me see it. Gifts. All right, we would like to thank Happy Turtle for her 6 chilies and her 10 gold coins. How you doing? Thank you, Happy Turtle. Appreciate you very much, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Very, very much. I love Mondays as I get to move tomorrow in my new place. Awesome, JJ. That's exciting. Moving is hard, though. Lord, it's very hard. Okay. Other gifts. Let's see here. Is that all the gifts? I think that's all the gifts. That's all it's showing me. I'm pretty sure. Is that the same one? Hey, Pam. Boy, I need some Botox. I need some Botox, man. I just looked at myself. Oh, Hidden in the Fog. Thank you for the 800 jewels. Thank you so much, honey. That's really kind of you. Appreciate you. I'll make sure you sub up to Hidden in the Fog. I really appreciate that very much. Okay. Thank you for that again, Lori. I think that's it. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, guys. If I missed anybody, it's not intentionally. I apologize if I missed anybody. I don't know what's going on. Had just got back home. All right, Pam, get some rest. I'm getting a new stove and fridge tomorrow. How you doing? You're gonna keep that fridge like so organized for the first week, and then it's over. And then you're gonna be like, God, I gotta clean this fridge and this stove. It's awesome. It's fun. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. God bless you and keep you and your family. I appreciate you guys. Good night, everyone. And God bless.